Recap episodes are something every community seems to dislike, and for some obvious reasons. When you're watching your favorite show week to week, turning on your computer, your TV, whatever device it may be, only to see that this week is a recap of the past however many weeks, and you now have to wait another 7 days for new content, it can be a downer. But are they really that bad? Well, yes and no. Recap episodes have quite a few purposes, and some of them aren't that horrible like most like to yell and scream about. One of the biggest factors to a recap episode in the anime medium is due to the production team not having the next episode ready for release, and they quickly have to put together a short condensed version of the past 6 to 12 episodes on average and play that while they finish their next canon episode. This generally spells doom to most looking in. Oh no, they didn't have time to finish the next episode, so they must really be struggling. But any show running week to week that doesn't already have the episodes completed ahead of time will be working tough hours. And anime is a medium where pretty much everyone is underpaid and overworked. The insane crunch times animators go through to get a 20-minute episode finished, let alone look polished, is insane. There can be noticeable issues going forward after a recap episode, and you can tell the production team is struggling. But just having one recap episode doesn't necessarily mean all is doomed, and even if it is, the DVD and Blu-ray release will generally touch it up. And something I see brought up a lot is if they don't have the next episode ready, why bother wasting the time making a recap episode and just skip the week and focus on the next episode? And though I don't know everything about TV in Japan, if it's anything like in North America where a station gives you a time slot, they expect you to give them the product every single week, like in the case of say South Park and Comedy Central. They make each South Park episode week by week, and if you watch the documentary 6 Days to Air, you can see how stressed they usually are week to week, thinking they won't have an episode ready and they'll have to tell Comedy Central the bad news. Depending on the station, you can get away with no new episode and they will run another show or maybe even a rerun episode of the show that they're broadcasting from you. But in any business, they expect you to deliver something, even if that product is just a condensed version of the show up to the point more times than not. So if I had to put money on something, I'd put it on the fact that they need to make a recap episode if they can't finish the next episode on time, like many shows here in the West. But recap episodes also happen outside of not being able to finish an episode on time. Many long-running shows do this as well for usually 1 or 2 reasons. The first being they are catching up to the source material, so they need to find ways to let the source get ahead without putting the show completely on break. The 2 ways that they generally will do this is anime original content and recap episodes. This actually serves as a handy way to recap big arcs that have been going on for months in a 20-minute block of time. They may annoy some, but for many this can actually help remind viewers of what happened over the past 3 to maybe even 6 months. And sometimes they just do it to make more money, because why take the week off even if you can when you can shell out these kinds of episodes? And I've even seen fans say that they do enjoy recap episodes that don't happen too often for this very reason. It refreshes all the important information for them that they've been witnessing for weeks on end. But sometimes recap episodes are planned from the start. Now some may be saying that's insane talk, no way, but the recent anime recreators from the get-go planned to air a recap episode that went in a more comedic approach that would both refresh the viewer but take the recap formula in a new direction, to which many of the fans of recreators actually enjoyed and called it one of the best recap episodes for obvious reasons. It was much more than just a slideshow and reuse of old scenes, it felt like a new episode. I'll leave a link in the description to the interview where I got this information from, just so you know I'm not bullshitting you. And I'm sure many studios that are making a 24 episode anime series would plan that halfway through they would produce a recap episode to both help crunch time, but also serve as a recap for the past 12 or so weeks, especially if they are producing more than one show a season like in the case of Mappa. Or maybe it'll just be like Kill la Kill and do a fake out recap episode just for the laughs. The concept of recap episodes makes total sense, and even I can get bummed out another week needs to go by until I see what happens after that last cliffhanger. But I do feel like anime fans are too harsh on them. There are times that after a recap episodes you can see the episodes going forward are suffering, but a lot of times they are needed to keep the show as it was. Sometimes they are planned from the start, sometimes they just happen last minute, and sometimes they don't even happen at all if they are allowed to just miss a week on the stations that they're airing on. But I do think that the anime community, and really just all communities, are far too harsh and overreact because they have to wait 1 more week for another episode, as it isn't like every other week you generally will see a recap episode, because really it's just another week and the world will move on. But that's all for this video. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on recap episodes. This is something I wanted to make a video on for a little bit. It's not an overly complex topic, but at the same time I feel like too many anime fans don't know what truly goes on in the business of anime. So hopefully if anything I could help shed some light on the topic of recap episodes for maybe even just one person. So let me know your thoughts, and before we leave, please be sure to like the video to show your support, and be sure to subscribe as well if you're new to the channel. And if you like what you see here and you want to help the channel out directly for as little as $1 a month, then please head on over to my Patreon, and if you feel it within your heart, donate as well. So until next time everyone, please take care and you all have a good one.